Christian Gentner of Stuttgart and Vincent Kompany of Manchester City. And with 1 point, but they pulled themselves clear with their former coach, Hub Stevens, who came in as a firefighter. And away we go. So it's Stuttgart in their normal home kit of white and red. City in their change strip of a darker colour, as Joe Hart there just has to stretch to get the ball away from Ginczek. The biggest transfer saga of the summer, and it was completed 2 weeks ago or so. Here we see Joe Hart just getting the ball clear there from Ginczek. At the back, his clearance just hits Silva, and it's got Sterling on the attack here. Bunny laying him in down the left-hand side. He just hesitates slightly, waiting for players to come and support him, and he gets the first corner of the game. Upwards of £30 million. Needs to be much more commanding this season, as there's a chance for the opener here, and Harnik it was who was closing in at the near post there, the Austrian striker. Saved them from relegation. Here comes Nasri. Crossfield ball out to Sterling, and he takes the shot on. Just a snapshot there, and Touton, well, he allowed back to their pre-season friendlies. They've lost only one game to Young Boys Bern. Here on the ball is in the starting lineup. He is one of the world's best creative midfielders, as Kolarov there tries to just feed a low ball in. Of a set-piece specialist. Here he goes again, and it's a very good take as well. There was a chance for Bakary Sagna as he went in at the near post with the diving header, but just wide of the target for as far as Stuttgart are concerned. Sagna with a new season has been successful, other than one blip against Real Madrid. They've been Melbourne City, as there's a chance here, and it's taken by Stuttgart. The first goal in this game has fallen. And it is Filip Kostic with it just before the 15-minute mark. He was slipped in well and could play the ball past Joe Hart with very little trouble. Let's have another look at it here. Well, he's got between the two defenders. That's slack from Manchester City, really. In the end, it's Sagna who was trying to track him, but Vincent Kompany was also all helped themselves, two doubles, with Marco Lopez and Pozzo also getting on the score sheet. As there's another low ball in here that Mangala has to deal with, and they haven't at all. And will it break again? It won't, it's just off the line. Well, it looked for all the world like that was going to be two. It's Gentner, the captain, who had the final effort on goal. But it is Keystone Cops defending from Manchester City again. Almost a brilliant finish from Gentner, just lifting the ball over Joe Hart. Nothing that the sprawling keeper could do, and that's an excellent clearance. Interception, and he's released here. Gentner down the right-hand side. Now the chance maybe for Harnik again. He will close down Joe Hart. It's Kostic who is burning forward, the man who scored the goal. And he'll play the ball in as well. It was a great ball. A horrible ball for City there to defend. Kolarov is shaking his head. I think he's not impressed by what the centre-backs ahead of him were doing there. The ball allowed to travel right across the face of goal before he had to just scoop the ball over the bar. Premier League, Champions League and the Cups. As did Didavi. It's a brilliant run from him, and it's ended up in the back of the net. It's a great finish. Well, it looked as though he just overcooked it there, Daniel Didavi. But in actual fact, he knew exactly what he was doing. Drove it home under Joe Hart, who is absolutely furious. I think both of himself and his team, as they gave Didavi far too much space here. It's a simple little run from him, straight down that right-hand side, in behind Kolarov. But it's a lovely ball from Klein with his left foot, who saw that Didavi was in space, and he had the presence of mind there to feed the ball through the legs of. As a Sabella looking ball towards Nasri. Can he get there? He does. He's around the keeper. Now what can he do? From the byline, he crosses the ball in. It's just too high for Navas. And, well, the opportunity is gone for City. But it was a nice ball through to Nasri. He was in on goal. The next attack building down the right. This is a chance here, and it's hacked well over the bar in the end by Nasri again, who's just pushed up, I think. He didn't have too much support up with him. Navi, scorer of the second, flicking the ball through. Lovely ball for Harnik. It's going to be free, and it is! Wow! Unbelievable. 35 minutes in. It's 3-0 Stuttgart against Manchester City. And it's Ginczek this time, who helps himself to the easiest of goals. It was a tap-in. Getting on the end of a lovely cutback from Martin Harnik. Simplicity itself. Too much space all around there. Mongala was tempted towards Harnik, and that left Ginczek in the clear. Where's company? That's the question. And, well, Manchester City have been absolutely torn apart. Very, very composed and controlled at the back. City have been torn apart again here, and it's 4! Well, this is incredible! Ginczek again at the double, 2 in 2 minutes, and what a City doing! It's a simple ball down the left-hand channel, no more than that. And it's 4-0. Well, Stuttgart are running riot here. Joe Hart can't believe what's going on in front of him, and this has shades of the pre-season friendly against Real Madrid. Well, look at that. So much space for Ginczek, and if you give him that space, he will ultimately finish. He was challenged just too late there by Bakary Sagna. But really, the pressure on the man on the ball before that from Manchester City was almost rampant here against the big spenders, Manchester City. As there's a chance here for City to pull one back. In the end, though, it's an easy take for Toutom. It was Nasri again with... There's George Evans, and that's a decent-looking pass to Raheem Sterling. Plenty of space for him for once as he cuts in. And that pretty much sums it up in this first half. And he's been brought off at half-time. That means that George Evans has stayed on in this second half. Here is Iheanacho trying to just engineer a bit of space there with his first touch. But he was well closed down by the Stuttgart. And that is shown by the 4-0 scoreline. As they've got another chance here, and it was a clever flick from Ginczek that time. Just trying to reverse it back around Joe Hart. Putting him under pressure as well for a first-team spot, as that's a lovely bit of play from Manchester City. It's David Silva to the byline, and Iheanacho, well, he just couldn't quite get enough there on the clever little flick to fit. Too much pressure, says the referee, Sagna. And then we see that flick from Iheanacho. He's got the right idea just to try and flick it around the corner. With Stuttgart pressing forward, scoring goals. At the moment, it's Manchester City that have just taken over possession of the ball and control of the game as they try and force a way back in. And this is Sterling with the opportunity. And you could see what he was trying to do, trying to curl it towards that far stick. Much better effort than the player who was of interest to Swansea last season. Would be interesting to see if they go for him again. Finding it a little bit difficult to get into the first team. Yeah. Iheanacho. And he's done really well to get away. Can he get the shots in? No, he can't, because the defending was superb again. I think it's Lushek is on the sidelines here waiting to come on for Manchester City. So here is Kolarov with the free kick, and, well, not one of his better efforts. There's a real threat from any distance on his left peg. In 37 minutes. Here is Sterling in A tight spot here. Can Dzeko turn? Here's a chance to grab a goal back for Zuccolini, and it's well turned away by Tutok. The danger has not gone yet as Silva tries to get it out of his feet. Oh, back over the top for David Silva. And that's a lovely touch from Raheem Sterling. Surely it's going to be the goal here, and it is from Iheanacho. 84th minute. And the half-time substitute, the youngster, has finished. Well, a goal back then, and disappointment for Stuttgart that they haven't managed to keep a clean sheet, but I don't think they'll be too worried about that. There have been so many changes that it would be difficult to keep up the flow, and that's a lovely little finish as well from that pullback from Raheem Sterling. So an assist going to the 49 million man. As now there are going to be as here is Raheem Sterling again in that typical style of his, going direct, and it could be a second for Manchester City, and it is. It's Dzeko with the easiest of tasks there. Well, a great deal of that goal goes down to Raheem Sterling. As Stuttgart, having made all of those changes in this last 10 to 15 minutes, their defence a little bit all over the place, and Dzeko finishing brilliantly there, keeping it low and hard, firing it into the back of the net. So it's Stuttgart 4, Manchester City 2. Forward, Stuttgart again, and Clement it was who was trying to break forward. This is Dzeko again, who fancies a run in on Niedermayer. Now Silva, will he get the run of the ball? No, he won't, because it's an excellent clearance from Steven Sama as we tick over 90 minutes played. So now we're into time added on after an excellent pre-season friendly, and the referee then draws it to a close. It's 4-2 to VfB Stuttgart in their final pre-season friendly against Manchester City. It's a real lift coming into the German season, and a real blow for Manchester City, who, especially at half-time, 4-0 down, were under real pressure.